Hello, I'm doing a book review, and the book I want to review is The Purgatorio by Dante Alighieri. Now, The Purgatorio is part 2 of Dante's epic poem, The Divine Comedy, which was about Dante going through the three realms of the afterlife: hell, purgatory, and heaven. Now, it's believed that Dante wrote the Divine Comedy somewhere between the years 1308 and 1320. Now, in the Inferno, which was part 1 of the Divine Comedy, Dante was guided through the 9 circles of hell by the spirit of the poet Virgil. So, in the Purgatorio, Virgil takes Dante through the realm of Purgatory, which is the space between heaven and hell. Now, Dante's idea of Purgatory was that Purgatory was in the form of a mountain on an island, and souls who go to Purgatory have to be cleansed of their sins, the sins that they committed in their lifetime before entry into heaven. Now, the beginning of Purgatory is what Dante referred to as anti-purgatory, and basically this was for people who repented for their sins a little too late in life or were excommunicated from the church. And the rest of Purgatory from then on was broken up into 7 different levels, and each level of Purgatory was devoted to one of the 7 deadly sins, and basically people who committed the 7 deadly sins in their lifetime have to be cleansed of the sins before entry into heaven. So, in the story, Virgil guides Dante up this mountain, which is Purgatory, and at the top of the mountain is this garden that Dante refers to as the earthly paradise, and it is in this garden where Dante will be reunited with Beatrice, who is this woman that Dante knew, who died before Dante wrote the Divine Comedy. And Beatrice will be the one to guide Dante through heaven. Now, the Purgatorio has definitely been overshadowed by the fame of the Inferno, which is part 1 of this poem, and the Inferno is the most famous part of the Divine Comedy. Now, the Divine Comedy is one of my top 10 favorite books of all time, but the Purgatorio, I'll be honest, is probably my least favorite part of the Divine Comedy. Like, I love the Inferno and I love the Paradiso, but the Purgatorio is definitely my least favorite part of this poem. Now, I do like the themes that Dante touches on in this part of the poem. Like, I think the major theme of this part of the Divine Comedy really is redemption and overcoming your sins and being cleansed of the sins that you commit in your lifetime. And you could look at Purgatory in this story as being a metaphor for all the temptations that man has to face in his lifetime. So, I do like the major theme of the Purgatorio, but overall, the Purgatorio is by far my least favorite part of the Divine Comedy, and honestly is the most forgettable part of the Divine Comedy, in my opinion. Now, I find the concept of Purgatory to be an interesting aspect of afterlife mythology because, now, I would not call myself a scholar by any means, but to the best of my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that early Christians didn't even believe in purgatory. To them, it was either heaven or hell. There was no in-between. To the best of my knowledge, I'm pretty sure that purgatory is a concept that didn't come about till much later on. Also, the concept of the 7 deadly sins is also a concept that didn't really come into being till much later on. Like, the whole concept of the 7 deadly sins, I believe, didn't start up until the 4th century. Now, if you haven't already, check out my review on the Inferno, which is part 1 of this poem, and I'll put a link to that review in the description below, because that review is a far more in-depth analysis than this was, so definitely check out that review. But yeah, that's my review on the Purgatorio by Dante Alighieri, and bye.